What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Mekhi back in the building again. You feel me? Back with the consistency, you feel me? Now, today we have a recommended video. I've been going through my comments. Don't worry, everybody that has been commenting, I will get back to all of your comments. But I went through this video. This guy had recommended this video about Larry Bird being underrated. Now, I don't think Larry Bird is underrated. I really don't. But this video is going to explain why. From Johnny Arnett. That's the GOAT, man. If you guys enjoy what I'm doing, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Recommend some videos you guys want me to watch in the future, and I will do it, and I will react to it. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get to the video.
It is widely accepted that Larry Bird is one of the greatest NBA players of all time, and even sneaks his way into the GOAT debate among many basketball circles. The thing is, I personally rank Larry Bird higher than most people do, as he's currently sitting in the 6th spot on my all-time list, and I even have him ranked slightly ahead of Magic Johnson, which is certainly a more uncommon opinion.
Now, before he gets to it, I think that I've came to a new category between great and who's greater and who's better. Now, in my opinion, I think that Larry Bird is better than Magic Johnson. But I think that Magic Johnson is greater than Larry Bird. Now, people may say, oh, from 1982 to 1986, Larry Bird was a better player. And in 1987, Magic Johnson, he took over the throne or whatever. I just say over the course of the career, I think that, Magic had the better career, but as far as the all-around player, Larry Bird was better, bro.
I think there's some major misconceptions to Bird's game that result in him not getting quite as much credit as I believe he deserves. And by the end of this video, I think that I can convince some of you that Larry Legend is in fact underrated. Before we get into some misconceptions, let's start with what most people already know about Bird, and I'll elaborate upon it. Over his 13-year career, Larry averaged 24.3 points on a stellar 56.4 true shooting percentage. Despite their talent-heavy history, Bird is the Celtics' all-time leading playoff scorer. So whether it was in the regular season or the postseason, he was always an efficient and lethal threat. He was obviously a legendary scorer and an incredibly efficient shooter. Larry is objectively one of the greatest three-point shooters of all time, as he's tied with Craig Hodges for the most three-point contests won in a career with a total of 3.
Now, what I've noticed for newer, NBA fans, they do not value the three-point contest as much as they used to. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Klay Thompson has the most threes made. Fact check me on that one. I think it's either Klay Thompson or Steph who has the most threes made, but nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about it. And whoever it is, people don't talk about it enough.
The thing is, Hodges participated in a total of 8 three-point competitions, while Bird only participated in a total of 4.
And he won 3 straight. That's pretty impressive to me.
He literally did the same amount of damage as the other all-time leader in half the amount of time. On top of all of this, you really could make the argument that Bird is the most all-around efficient scorer of NBA history. If that seems like a stretch, then consider this. During some of his prime years, Larry went on a 5-year stretch where he had 50-40-90 percentages. Only 9.
That's also impressive. I know Steve Nash is a part of that club, and I think he only got 1. Kyrie Irving's a part of that club, and he only got 1. That's pretty impressive to do that for that long.
Players in NBA history have achieved at least one season of 50-40-90 percentages, yet Larry did it over a 5-year stretch while putting up just about 28, 10, and 7 each night. The only player who has come close to that all-around efficiency over such a long period of time is actually Steve Nash. But the thing is, Nash was never primarily a scorer and averaged roughly half the amount of points that Larry did during his stretch. To efficiently score that many points on that kind of volume of all-around shot attempts is something that no one else has ever done as well as Larry Bird did. Again, maybe some of you didn't know the extent of how lethal Larry was as an all-around efficient scorer, but I do feel like that's probably the most commonly understood aspect of his game. Now for the misconceptions and the details that definitely make Larry an underrated player. There are a lot of people, especially younger basketball fans, who believe that Larry was a subpar defender. This is incredibly inaccurate.
Now, on ball, people said that this man was not really that quick or that fast to stay in front of his man on ball, but off ball, he was a pest. I mean, he always got his hands dirty. He got dove for loose balls. He's going to explain in a second, but this is what I've heard.
Bird wasn't just a good defensive player, but a great one. As a 6'9" small forward, he definitely had the size and length to frustrate the offensive opponent. Sure, there is the narrative that Larry was a slow and unathletic player, and thus it affected his defensive play. This is true to a certain extent, but it's also grossly exaggerated. What Larry did have are the most important traits of a great defensive player, which are hustle, heart, intelligence, effort, and availability. Larry was never lacking in any of these areas. He always put in the work, and he was incredible not only at reading the defenses, but also at anticipating them. Larry made 3 NBA All-Defense teams throughout the course of his career, and even finished as high as 3rd overall in the Defensive Player of the Year running in 1983.
Wait, I need to go back and see what he just said. So he was a 3-time All-Defense.
High as 3rd overall in the Defensive Player of the Year running in 1983. He wasn't just a solid on-ball and help defender, but he was also a terrific pickpocket, as Larry averaged a fantastic 1.7 steals per game over the course of his 13-year career. His best evening in this area came on February 18, 1985 against the Utah Jazz, when Larry dropped 30 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists, and 9 steals in only 3 quarters of play. Due to them absolutely destroying the Jazz, Bird didn't play a second of the 4th quarter. To this day, the NBA record for the most steals in a single game is 11. So not only could he have easily been only the 2nd player to ever achieve the quadruple-double, but if Bird had played the 4th, he might have been the record holder for the most steals in a game. You have to be a great defensive player in order to be in a position to seize that record. On top of all of that, Bird led the entire NBA in defensive win shares a total of 4 times. That's the 4th most in NBA history. The only players ahead of him on that list are Tim Duncan, George Mikan, and Bill Russell. That is a remarkably short list of great defensive players. I'm not trying to say that Bird was on the level of someone like Dennis Rodman or Scottie Pippen, but to call Larry anything other than a great defensive player is either completely ignorant or is just plain disrespect towards his game. The other key area where people
I don't know. For me, I've seen a lot of clips of Larry Bird just completely being too slow to keep up with faster guards, or because he used to get killed on the baseline. This is coming from OGs that I used to talk to. He said he used to get killed on the baseline. He used to get killed on ball. But they said off ball, he was an elite defender off ball.
Bird was his rebounding ability, as Larry was simply one of the greatest rebounding small forwards that the game has ever seen.
Sorry for pausing again, but I think he averages like 10 rebounds for his career. Like he averaged 10 rebounds for his career, which is impressive.
He was aggressive and tenacious as he got as high as 11 rebounds per game in 1983. Qualities that I mentioned earlier, like his size, hustle, and intelligence, are also things that helped him as he battled on the boards. Over the course of his career, Larry averaged a whopping 10 rebounds per game, and when he was starting specifically at the small forward position, he averaged 9.5 rebounds per game. That's the 3rd highest average among primary small forwards in NBA history. The only players ahead of him are Billy Cunningham and Elgin Baylor, who both played in the 1960s, which was easily the most inflated rebounding era of basketball history. So not only is Bird an underrated rebounder, not only is he objectively one of the all-time great rebounders, but he's also arguably the greatest rebounder ever at his position. Along with all the other skills I talked about, Larry was also a remarkably gifted facilitator. But I won't delve into that much, because like his shooting, I also think that's an area that a decent amount of people have a strong appreciation for. Ultimately, I think it's his solid defense and his elite rebounding that people underestimate, which is why I think he's underrated, regardless of the fact that people still refer to him as Larry Legend.
Like I said, man, wherever you put Larry Bird, you gotta put Magic either in front of him or behind him. So if you have Larry Bird 1, you gotta put Magic right behind him. If you put Magic there, you gotta put Bird right back, because they go hand in hand. I've been saying that for so long. But let me know in the comment section, man, where do you have Larry Bird on your list? Do you have him number 1? I know a lot of people, a lot of my subscribers, a lot of the people that watch my videos have Larry Bird number 1. So I want to hear from you guys. Where do you have him at? But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Recommend some videos that you guys want me to watch in the future. And until my next video, man, I'm gonna catch y'all.